On Fox News, the fix is in. We know that they now support Ron DeSantis over Donald Trump for 2024. I'd make the argument it's too little too late. They had a couple windows where they could have put the knife in Trump's back and twisted it and just moved on and been totally radio silent on him, indifferent to him, and really built something new. But problem is, there's a lot of hosts on air. Some of them like Trump more than others. Most of them, by the way, do realize that he's totally a fraud and the election wasn't stolen and all that stuff. But they've played footsie with him for far too long, and he's got a stranglehold on the party and on the base again. There's a time when he had a 30% approval rating, and now it's shot way back up. So it's kind of an awkward time for them to make this transition of being a pro-Trump network to a pro-DeSantis network, but they're doing it. And listen, I have to say, they're really not good at it, man. They are not good at it. There are ways to move on past Trump, and they just haven't delivered. And if anything, they're sparking more of a backlash. So here's Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends, and they're going to talk about Trump's new nicknames for DeSantis. And this clip is amazing.
Interesting. If he ran in New Hampshire, he's so popular as a governor, I imagine he would win New Hampshire.
It's a good reason to run.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's extremely personable. He's a strong candidate. Donald Trump is trying to...
They're talking about Sununu, by the way, who has like a 0% chance of going anywhere. So that's kind of hilarious that they're saying that.
Vilify Jeb Bush and Paul Ryan. He's a candidate. Donald Trump is trying to vilify Jeb Bush and Paul Ryan. He says they're the portion of the party that he's trying to link Ron DeSantis to. He's also working on nickname Ron Dishonest, Ron De-Establishment, or Tiny D. I don't know. I mean, people are uncomfortable. It's hard to label somebody who's so similar to him with a nickname. It makes everybody on all sides seemingly uncomfortable. Even people report.
That is nowhere near true, dude. I'm the most comfy I've ever been talking about this, homie. Oh, it's so uncomfortable talking about these amazing and hilarious and clever ass nicknames. Oh, man. So he didn't bring up the best one of all of them, Meatball Ron. Look, the thing that Trump's doing that's hilarious and perfect is that he keeps saying, like, many people are saying Meatball Ron. I don't like Meatball Ron. It's not my favorite. I have many people telling me, sir, call him Meatball Ron with tears running down their face. And I say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm above that. So he says it about him while not saying it about him. Now the new one that was floated is Tiny D. Oh, it's amazing. Another one of my favorites is, he went with Ron DeSanctimonious. That one is not a hit, dog. Ron Establishment is okay, but it still doesn't have as much of a ring to it. Like, in theory, it's the best one, but then to say it is like, man, it's missing a little X factor, right? But I like when he abbreviates Ron DeSanctimonious and makes it Ron DeSanctus, because that's Trump. That's not a thing, bro. Sanctus is not like a shorter version of sanctimonious. Nobody says Sanctus. That's not a thing, bro. But he says it, and everybody kind of still knows what he means. It's classic Trump. It's like, yeah, Ron DeSanctus. You all know DeSanctus. Sanctus, short for sanctimonious. It's kind of like, this triggers me when people say white supremacist. Supremacist is not a word. It's supremacist. But a lot of people say white supremacist. I don't know. Sometimes I become like a grammar Nazi, man. I do. I also get massively triggered by nuclear is the correct way of saying it. A lot of people say nuclear. And that, whoo, man, that gets under my skin. And then there's other words where I want to pronounce them incorrectly. Like, when somebody says, it's a gubernatorial race. Who the fuck came up with gubernatorial? Why is that a word? That sounds like a delicious candy, right? Like, I got some gubernatorials. They were tasty. Gubernatorial? Just say governor's race. I'm in the governor's race, not I'm in the gubernatorial race. Like, what kind of a nerd-ass weirdo was like, let's say gubernatorial? And everybody's like, yeah, let's go with that. Like, who was in that meeting, right? Like, what's going on here? Anyway, I'm way off base. But I love this. They're so bad at dealing with Trump. Here's the thing. God, this is a perfect encapsulation of the problem with how the media treats Trump. They pick the areas where he is most based to disagree with him. That's what they do. And then meanwhile, he picks the areas where his opponents are the weakest to take them down. So what's he hitting Ron DeSantis on over and over? He wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. He wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. This guy wants to shove grandmas off a cliff, bro. Powerful attack. And then what's DeSantis say about him? Oh, his administration leaks like a sieve. Leaks like a sieve? What? Try doing an attack and speaking normal. Yeah, there's a lot of information leaked out of his administration. We don't even have any leaks in ours, bro. Who cares? Who cares? You're going leaks? You're going leaks. Look, I've tried to give advice here. Not that Ron DeSantis or his staffers are watching me, but you want to hit Trump, you got to hit him in a way that's going to land powerfully with the base. So he said he was going to stop the outsourcing. There were 200,000 jobs outsourced under him. His tax bill incentivized outsourcing. So these are facts. I'm talking facts here. If you were the anti-outsourcing guy, why did 200,000 jobs go overseas? I thought you were going to be tough on China. Turns out you're not. That's one line of argument. The other line of argument is, I'm tough on crime, he's soft on crime. Look, he literally pardoned drug dealers. He did it. He did the First Step Act. He did the First Step Act. I want to keep criminals behind bars. He doesn't. Now look, that's a terrible, terrible line of attack, because on that First Step Act thing, Trump is totally right, and Ron DeSanctimonious is totally wrong. But like, that would be a potent line of attack for the Republican base. And here's the thing. His high road idea is not totally wrong, right? Like DeSantis has been doing, I'm going to take the high road. I'm about delivering results or whatever. That's not a totally wrong strategy, but it needs to be tweaked. You could still act like you're taking the high road while still taking those couple pot shots. Look, we're doing a great job in Florida. You could look at the scoreboard. We had a landslide victory. There's a reason that's the case. I'm delivering results. And the fact of the matter is, look, I like President Trump. He did a lot of things I agree with, but it's also true 200,000 jobs were outsourced on his watch. I would never let that happen on my watch. It's also true that he pardoned some drug dealers and some dangerous criminals, and here in Florida, we keep the criminals behind bars. That's what I would do as president. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. God, Fox News is so bad at this. Look, I naively thought they might be a little better at figuring out how to act in the post-Trump era, or getting to the post-Trump era. A lot of people are uncomfortable with these absolutely hilarious and clever nicknames that Trump is using. And you guys loved it when he did it on Democrats. Who didn't love Sleepy Joe Biden? Who didn't love Crooked Hillary? Those names were great. Who didn't love that? People on the left were giving him credit for that because it was funny. You guys loved it. Look, you guys loved it. Well, I don't know, did they? When he was going after low-energy Jeb? I feel like they hopped on the Trump bandwagon relatively early, right? Fox News did. It wasn't like at the very beginning, but after he flexed some power and won a primary or two, they were like, all right, I guess it's him. So anyway, let's see what else he says.
It.
Well, I'm just excited to see who the final nominees are going to be before
Fast
the
forward.
primaries. Yeah,
There's going to be such a
it's
battle.
about to rev up.
Stay tuned.
Governor Hogan out. He says the smaller the field, the better chance Donald Trump loses. Donald Trump believes bigger the field, the better chance
he has.
I have to win. But nobody could look at that speech and say he's too old. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump was able to chronicle everything he did over the 4 years, what he would do better. He was able to do in an hour and a half what Joe Biden, you can give him 20 hours, he would not be able to put together an hour and a half speech like that.
See, this is the problem, right? They got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They want DeSantis. They're kind of slyly trying to pump DeSantis, but they cannot totally cut off Trump. They just can't. He has the power of the base. That is their audience. This is why those secret text messages came out and exposed everything. We learned Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, every single one of them is smarter than they are pretending to be on air. Every one of them. We have direct text messages. Tucker Carlson called Trump a demonic force. He said that Sidney Powell, this woman's a nut, this woman's crazy. These rigged election conspiracy theories are not true. They all knew it. But they also knew we're going to lose our audience if we tell them the truth. That's why they all got mad when Fox News correctly called the Arizona election for Biden, and then the election for Biden, the entire election for Biden. Fox News invested millions of dollars into their own data system so that they can call the election when their numbers show, hey, it's time to call it. They had a crisis behind the scenes because they were like, okay, it shows Biden's going to win, but we're going to get our audience mad if we say it. And they had meetings like, how do we address this? Do we go with the facts? Our own multi-million-dollar system tells us is the reality, or do we stall? Or like, what do we do? What do we do? None of these people are honest. None of them have a spine, man. Every single one of them is audience captured. And that's what leads to these awkward moments. I'm uncomfortable with the tiny D thing. But also, I mean, the guy's great. What are you going to say? Trump's amazing. Man, in a weird way, I know you guys, this is a kind of a crazy thing to say, but bear with me. In a weird way, I feel bad for these people who are on screen right now. I do. Because look, when you approach the job of political commentary like I do, it's actually kind of easy. I'm just going to tell you exactly what I think every step of the way and let the chips fall where they may. It doesn't matter if I have a take that 85, 95% of you are going to be like, screw you, Kyle. I got to say it. Because I can't have any multi-layered, oh, what do I think they want to hear and how am I going to finesse the thing? Doesn't work. In the long run, you're a fraud. Everybody can smell it on you. If I'm honest up front and always honest, even when I'm wrong, the real ones will be like, yeah, I might disagree with him, but that's what he thinks, right? What am I going to do? Every now and then he throws a curveball at us, but, I mean, what am I going to do? He is who he is, right? So when you approach it like I do, the job's easy. But when you approach it like them, they're balancing 7 different factors, right? Oh, what does Rupert Murdoch want me to say? What does the new CEO want me to say? Oh, what does the audience want to hear? What do I actually think? It's like a freaking equation in their head every time they open their mouth, and you're never going to be honest, authentic, principled, intelligent, and correct with all that going on. And so the end result is this. So anyway, in summation, no Brian Kilmeade. There's the best part of Trump is these goofy ass nicknames. It's hilarious. We enjoy every second of it. I'm not uncomfortable. He said, people on both sides of the aisle are uncomfortable. Pfft. My ass cheeks. I love this. I want them to keep going at it. Although, if the trajectory continues as it's going, it ain't going to be all that much of a fight. He said, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be over very, very quick. It's going to be like ripping off a Band-Aid. It'll be over super quickly if Trump continues on the path he's going. I mean, I kind of hope that's not the case, right? Like, I kind of want to see a surge of somebody else, make it interesting, but could be a quick one if the current trajectory holds. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.